Hello and welcome to NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime. Yes, we're still talking about the new year, 2023. NIMASA This Week, of course, is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, the nation's apex promoter and regulator of all things shipping. My name is Ubong Isian, and it's always a pleasure to be your guide on this voyage.
My name is Chief Dr. George Moralo.
Senator Binta Masi Garba.
Bonamuse is Rollins McFoy, the President of Women in Maritime Nigeria.
You are watching NIMASA This Week.
You are watching NIMASA This Week.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime.
The voice of maritime.
The voice of the maritime industry.
The voice of the maritime.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on these stations.
Welcome back. It's still NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, and we want to begin to look at what prospects, challenges, and opportunities are out there for the Nigerian maritime sector in 2023. So on today's episode, we'll get to hear from the DG of NIMASA on the outlook for 2023 as it relates to all things maritime, plus our other regulars. If you're ready, it's anchors away.
Introducing the NIMASA Distress Response Call Lines for all maritime stakeholders, ship owners, seafarers, ship captains. Whatever your challenge or distress in the Nigerian maritime domain, please call 0803 0685 167, 0708 0005 956, 0700 0700 010. If you can't reach us on these lines, please call 0700 0700 020, 0700 0700 030. Also via VHF Radio Channel 16. Call and NIMASA will respond.
Yesterday in Lagos, it was quite historic with the commissioning of the Lekki Deep Sea Port. I want to get your first reaction as the person who is in charge of the maritime space in Nigeria. What will be your first reaction to that development in the country?
Well, it was an interesting development, and I was opportune to be asked to make a kind of remarks, and I made mention it boldly that I'm one of the happiest person. Because part of the mandate of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency is to develop shipping. So if we take one leg of our own mandate, today I'm seeing one of the biggest and the best ports in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. You can imagine the number of tonnages that will come. Year in, year out, if you look at the budget of MPA, and concentrate on the amount of money we spend in dredging Apapa, Tinkan Island, Port Harcourt, Warri, that is Delta Forts, you will see the huge and humongous amount of money that we are paying to dredge our own ports. Today we have deep sea ports, meaning that you don't need to dredge. The draft of that port is enough for us to stay for a number of years without dredging. Now, and secondly, you now begins to imagine the number of ships that will come in, the number of tonnage that will come in, the number of employment, the amount of money injected into the economy. Now, for instance, that port can inject nothing less than 360 billion US dollars. And at the same time, in terms of employment, direct employment, not less than 196 100,000, I think my statistic can be appropriate, not less than 196,000 employment. That's direct. If you go for indirect employment, it's going to be about 300,000 employment to be generated by that ports. So you see, Nigeria now we are becoming a kind of hub in terms of shipping. Most of the countries, our businesses that is being taken by Benin Republic, Togo, and other countries like this now is coming back to Nigeria. And then the issue of the international trade, as far as the port is concerned, now we are on one of the riders. You look at Dangote Refinery, between May and June this year, it will also be commissioned. Now, what is the meaning of that? More ships will be coming, and more administration will come as far as the maritime administration is concerned. As the ship comes in, the issue of regulatory functions will come in, the issue of port state, plug state control, issue of marine environment management is coming in, issues that has to do with search and rescue is going to come in, and so many other regulatory functions. So more administration is coming, and then more job is being secured, not even on the part of the port itself, but on the part of the apex regulatory body. So at the end of the day, I assure you, the servicing of that ports may not be only for Nigeria, but also for the regional and the continental aspect of it. And I'm one of the happiest person, as I said, and we will continue to see the enhancement and the development of the maritime industry in this area.
I also know that you've dovetailed a bit into what you call the blue economy. If you can expatiate on what you consider this to the Nigerian economy vis-a-vis what you call the blue economy.
When you look at the blue economy has been with us as long as the maritime industry exists. But the concept of the blue economy itself started about in 2012 when the United Nations started talking about a separate economy in terms of blue economy. Now, blue economy today, from the statistical analysis, is the second largest economy in the world, next to Great Britain, and after it is the eighth one, which is Brazil. So blue economy is the seventh greatest economy, just behind Britain. It has the capacity of about $2.5 trillion. So this $2.5 trillion is what countries all over the world are trying to harness and maximize. How? Sustaining your own blue economy, what the oceans, can be utilized for the economic growth and development, providing jobs, providing employment, and so many other things like that. So now the ports and the ships itself is the component of the blue economy. We have so many like renewable energy in terms of blue economy, ship management. We have the issue of marine environment management. We have the issue of of fishing industry. Before now, the fishing sector used to be the second largest income earner in Nigeria, but because of so many factors, that has been a thing of the past. So we want to see the revival of that. Part of the reason of the derailment of the fishing industry has to do with the maritime security. From 2001 to date, the maritime security come to stay. We are struggling now to make sure that we continue to sustain the tempo. Now we are getting the second year now without a single attack in our own territorial waters. The international communities, they have been coming to see what we are doing. So you cannot achieve blue economy without maritime safety, without maritime security, without policy intervention, without infrastructure. Over the period of time, we continue to improve the maritime industry by provisions of security. The issue of safety, search and rescue has been there. The issue of plug and post-state control to inspect and enforce rules and other regulations of our own, within our own mandate has been put in place. So today, I think we are getting to the level where our blue economy can be fully blown to the international community, because the investors, they are willing now to come. We just finished meeting on the issue of disbursement of CBFF with the primary lending institutions. The meeting was very, very successful one. Before the end of the week, we are going to engage the stakeholders, the ship owners, those who are interested to buy, so that they can hear what we discuss with the primary lending institutions. We harmonize everything. We take it to our mother ministry, the Federal Ministry of Transportation, and then they give us a go ahead on what we should do next. So I think in a summary form, that is where, and that's the position of our own blue economy today.
Goods and services coming from goods from Europe attract war risk insurance, and the government has been saying they are working towards ensuring that we get off that list with a large rating, so that we de-escalate the prices of goods and services when it trickles down to Nigeria. How far has that come?
Last year around September, when we approached the Lloyds of London, they say, well, we appreciate the guidelines and other efforts you put in place in ensuring maritime security. And we have seen that a lot of improvement has come, and we have number of months without attack. The number of years you remain as a member of the war risk insurance groups, vis-a-vis the number of years of attacks, if you relate it only 1 year, is not enough. We have what we have, a standard gauge. And that standard gauge is just like you have 3-star, 4-star, 5-star rating in terms of safety and security. Now, there are factors that will make you to shift from 3-star to 4-star to 5-star. So what is the level you are now? Provide us of what you provide, what you do to ensure that there is going to be a sustainability in that. We have done that, and most of the things are in the pipeline. The issue of maritime security does not stop in the issue of carrying gun to go to the sea and try to address the issue of, you have to look at the genesis of this insecurity. Some has to do with issue of politics, some has to do with the community relegations. They felt that justice has not been done to them, so instead of them to devise a means of seeing, interface with the government to see the end of this, some of them, they carry arms and weapons. So what we did in the agency to make sure that we address this issue squarely, number one, the Nigerian Navy, their ops are doing in terms of the kinetic approach of the operations. So number two, on our own side, we now addressing the issue of non-kinetic operations. And the non-kinetic operations is for us to make sure that there is reward and sanctions for the airing these hoodlums. For those who are interested in peace, we introduced what we call National CPRS Development Program. And from that National CPRS Development Programs, we picked secondary schools leavers with at least 5 credits in sciences, English and maths inclusive, and then sponsor them for training abroad to make sure that they have an information certificate that can deal with the international best practices in terms of employment in our own ships and also abroad. So far we train not less than 2,500 on that. That is a standard policy that we put in place, and it's a policy interventions. Then we have the issues of skill acquisitions, where you can acquire skill, not necessarily certificates. You learn what to do. If you finish secondary school, you feel that you don't have to go and to the university. You can now be engaged. And then we introduce locally maritime training institutions in 6 geopolitical zones. So all this one, we compiled it and sent it to the Lloyds of London. They are now studying these models. We have carrot and stick approach, where we employ younger Nigerians as, marine litter marshals, and give us so many information and intelligence information that can address those issues.
When exactly are we expecting that reports to come from Lloyds? I know where is the rating at the moment? I know you mentioned categories, just specifics. Where are we rated at the moment? And when do you expect that rating to come out eventually?
We are now in the first quarter of 2023. We expect before the end of the second quarter, they will be able, what we told them, it may not be necessarily removing it entirely. Look at the progress we made, gauge us and tell us that you have reached this level and you have removed this level. Okay. You see, the issue of war risk insurance does not stop on the quantum of money that we are paying for the war risk insurance. Even the indelible mark put in place, it scares investors coming to the country. When the tag country as a war risk insurance country, then at the end of the day, the investors will be scared to come and invest their things because their investment may not be secured. So at the end of the day, when they remove it, so there are so many visible and invisible benefits that we are going to get. So we expect by second quarter we should be able to get feedback. So far we got some percentages reduced, but we feel that it's not enough. We want Nigeria to be total, just like they removed us from one of the most dangerous countries to trade on in our own sea in March last year. So we want to see the total eliminations of Nigerian name from the war risk insurance states.
questions before I let you go on the issue. We understand we have a floating dock that has been lying fallow.
Yeah.
What's the status of that? 5 years hasn't found a location. Have we found a location?
We found the locations. We are using the continental shipyard belonging to MPA. Approval has been granted, and we have gotten a partner that is going to be the managing partner of the modular floating dock. The federal government in December, I think second week of December, approved the PPP model that so that we ensure the prudent management of that floating dock. So the approval has been granted by the Federal Executive Council on the PPP arrangement. The MPA approved the utilization of their facility. Now, what is remained now, we are trying to beef off the standard of the facility. It's been rotten, and we cannot be able to tie the modular floating dock there. So the manufacturers of the floating dock, they had to come from Netherlands, and they will come and make sure that they reactivate and strategize and position the modular floating dock. We hope before the end of February we should finish these processes, God willing. I'm more disturbed and worried about the floating dock, a lot of front and back, but Nigerians will live to laugh now and smile, because we will now have the capacity to employ more people to work on the modular floating dock. A lot of students from Maritime Academy Oron, from the Maritime University of Kerenkoko, and other maritime institutions will have to come and do practicals there and learn. And then the issue of revenue, we will no longer allow our own foreign exchange to be filtered. Some people carry their ships to Ghana, Togo, South Africa, and even Turkey to go and repair ship. So we don't have such things. Our foreign exchange will be conserved, the profit will be coming, the revenue will be coming, and then we have a standard investors that will come and invest alongside with us to make sure that we have a maximum profit instead of utilizing it for government use. And some people will feel that it's a national cake and misuse or put misplaced priority there on that. So we will make sure that the judicial utilizations of the modular floating dock.
Welcome back, and without much ado, let's find out what's been buzzing in the nautical circles online. You can continue this conversation with the DG of NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo. His Twitter handle is @JamoBashir, as well as @NIMASA Official, from Facebook to Twitter to Instagram and YouTube. However, as we begin the new year, it is important for every player, every stakeholder, and every interested party in Nigeria's maritime industry to keep in mind that this industry operates largely by rules. Maritime is a very heavy regulated sector, with NIMASA, the nation's maritime administration, bearing the prime responsibility for ensuring that all parties play by the rules, and in ensuring that no one claims or feigns ignorance. NIMASA has made available all of the information you need that are relevant to your maritime interest on the NIMASA official website, currently displayed on your screen. So make that website your first port of call. You do not want to run foul of our maritime regulations. Thank you for watching today's episode of the program, and we hope that you are already off to a good start this 2023, and we hope that you've already seen the picture of what lies ahead of us in terms of our maritime prospects. We're talking about the blue economy. We're talking about maritime security. This is now well over a year without any attacks in our waters. The protection of our marine environment, as well as the development of capacity, talking about seafarers and the various other categories of manpower in the Nigerian maritime industry. So there's a lot to look forward to in 2023. And I urge you to join us on this voyage. My name remains Ubong Isen, and I'm asking you as always to stay on course. Bye-bye.